Oh, good evening, Alex, Dusty, and Francisca. You're the three people right now online. So that's great. I'm going to make this video. More people is coming. Akram, Jonathan, good evening. Um,
Great.
so I'm going to start this on time. Maybe people will jump in. Otherwise, I will make a video. So I will share with the class. So I'm going to spend some time to go over with how to build a chatbot making use of the ChatGPT API or using the Anthropic API. So as we know, the API is a powerful tool. We need to understand the API capabilities. And then if you're using the API, it can help us to define our own user case. Specifically, if you want to build a chatbot, I would like to have our class, after the class, not only being the people who knows how to use ChatGPT or Anthro or any other chatbot, but also be able to create, if you like, you can create some app based on ChatGPT API. And sometimes we can build our own software. I'll give you an example. Some of those pharmaceutical companies, they actually have some consulting company want them to build a, a chatbot an app function just for their own company because they want to train the model based on their data. They have a lot of those medical data, which is not shared. They have private data, like the company like Pfizer or like the company of BMY. So what they really want to do is they want to build a system, build this language model that is based on ChatGPT. You can say pre-trained on ChatGPT, and they're using their own data to train that. So I hope we can. This is a very easy start, but I hope people who are interested can get into this field of building some interesting app based on the current very popular chat API. So let me share my screen with you, just to write down to the code. This is the one. Okay, can you see my big screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Great, thank you. Okay, so this is just a notebook. I'm building a chatbot with large language model API. So for ChatGPT, I need to use a Python, which is version later than 3.11. So the first line, I'm checking. Let me increase that. So I'm going to check Python version. Because I'm in the notebook, I need to put exclamation mark, make sure that's running in as if in the command line. So I run that Python hyphen hyphen version. So it shows the Python version 3.12.2. So it's greater than 11. I'm safe to running that. Then if I'm going to use ChatGPT is developed by the company OpenAI. So I need to install OpenAI, install all the package. You can do a pip install OpenAI, or as what I did here is I'm putting an upgrade, make sure I install the latest version of the OpenAI API. So let me run the second box here. So it's going to reinstall and upgrade to the latest version of OpenAI. Okay, so requirement already satisfied. And I do have the latest version. Let me check here. It's going on. I have the open version. Oh, I just upgraded, uninstall the OpenAI version 1.23.6, successfully installed the latest one, which is 1.24.0. So I upgrade to the latest version. And then here, what I need to do is I need to create an API secret key for me to use. So a lot of people ask me when they run my sample code, why they cannot do that? Well, because you need to have an OpenAI account and get a key in order for you to load their data and use their trained model. So first I need to import OpenAI. So I'm from OpenAI, importer OpenAI. Then here is I have a client. Client is OpenAI, and the argument is API key is equal to that. That is the secret key I generated from my OpenAI account. So let me show you how I do that. So if I go to here is my OpenAI account. Let me just go here. If I'm doing a openai.com and a login, I have an account. So there are two parts. The first one is ChatGPT. If you are using ChatGPT, go to that interface. Or here I'm need to use API. So I click on the API interface or the API selection. Then in here, I have a on the right, if you can see, let me increase the size here. So on the right, I can click here, API keys, API keys. That is where I got my keys. If you use API keys, I already created some. If you don't, create a new secret key. So I created one just for deep learning class. It is that the last four characters 2CJC. Once it's generated, you need to copy it. That's the only time it will show you. And then even myself, I will not be able to see that. So you copy that, save into a file. And then in my case, I just simply paste it here, the last four characters 2CJC. So this is my secret key. And you need to do that to import your API key into your program. Now, of course, this is not a safe way of doing that because if you publish a notebook, everyone will know your API key. So a better way is to run another code or create another code. It's called in here. It's called environment, right here. This is deep learning.env. It's environment. Then I can write this open AI underscore API key. I input my secret key here. Then in the original code, I can just load that chatbot. I can use this client equal to that. And then what I do is os.environment.get, get a custom environment name, which is my .env file. And then I can do that. Otherwise, I just post it here. So that's my client with that API key. Then in the latest version, the function is used in this way. So I have the client. Client is my client with my API key. So I take the client, and it's actually a function or method .chat, .completions, .create. And I call that, it will generate an object. It will generate an object. It's not a dictionary, it's actually an object. So in this object, I define a model. Model here, let me go back to this page. If I check with here is all these limits. I can show different models. So, well, in the limits, I'm going to show what are the limits my account can use. So you can see a lot of different models. When I open a model, doc ChatGPT model, you can see overview. So these are the available model that we can use. ChatGPT 4 Turbo. Actually, the good thing about using API, you can use the latest model, like ChatGPT 4 Turbo. That's the latest. You can use 3.5 Turbo. You can use DALL-E and other models that it is available. So the latest one is actually, if you scroll down, it's here, the model GPT 4 Turbo. That is the latest. It's actually available April the 9th, 2024. It's pretty new, less than a 1 month old of that. This is a stable version, and it's based on this one. And when I build my own GPT API, of course, I'm using the latest one. And the price is almost similar. It's a lot of tokens. And for our test use, it actually just costs a few cents, I think. Okay. So all these are the available models that we can use. So let me go back. So I'm going to pick up GPT for Turbo. That's the latest model. And then the message Message is a dialogue. So I will put the role here, role system. Role system meaning that this is the computer, the machine he's going to take. And the role is the system. And the content is I need to tell him that you are a poetic assistant skilled in explaining complex programming concept with creative flair. And then there are another two choices I can use. One is the role is user, which is me. I'm going to put my conversation, put my input. So the content is compose a poem that explains the concept of recursion in programming, blah, blah, blah. And a third role is the role is assistant. Assistant, again, that's on the machine side. So it will actually assist the system to make the conversation. We will see in the next example. So here are my input. Then I can put a maximum tokens is 512. If you check with the latest Tubo GPT-4 Tubo version, I think the token is about 1024 or even larger. So it can take a lot of token in. Temperature is 0, temperature between 0 and 1. That means, am I going to do everything exploration? We know that, exploration or exploitation. We talk in class today. So in other words, if you non-technical, you can say that's, are they going to have a more random response or a more response according to some previous experience? So I'm using a temperature 0. Then I'm going to print out this output. This is the object with my user query. So it will produce some. So here I'm using temperature 0, maximum token is 512. And then I print out the response from this object is the response to my query of compose a poem. So let's run that. I need to run the previous one. Oh, okay. Let me redo the entire thing, restart it. Okay. Restart it. Python version. Install OpenAI. Okay. And then run this. Okay, it's calling the API of ChatGPT using model GPT-4 Turbo. So it gives me a poem in the realm of code where logic plays king, and it's pretty good actually. It's a poem with a Python code embedded in it. So that's interesting. Never seen that before. So it gives me an answer in a poetical way to explain what is algorithm of what is recursion. Now, if I want to print out the message give me that, right? It's the content with this is the return, and then give me, say, the role assistant and doing something. But if I want to see a very nice message and I need to do a message dot content, so it's going to show me the content. So that is for the API for ChatGPT. Now I can also do another one. I can write the entire thing as a function. So I define a function. It's called call API. Client is OpenAPI. So I have already loaded my secret key. It understands that this client was the secret key of my account. Chat completion is an object. So client.chat.completions.create. Message. Role is user. That's me. Content is I'm going to input a sentence that you are a puppy called Burma. And then the role assistant, our assistant is to help the system to understand what kind of language or what kind of style he's going to use. Content is wolf, like a puppy. And then the role of user content is I'm telling him, I ask him, what is your name? And then again, I'm using the model. That's the latest GPT-4 Turbo model. I will return the conversation content. So return the chat completion dot choice 0 message.content. So I call this function, call OpenAI. I print out this return content. So let me run this. So that's what it will give me. It said, woof, woof, I'm Bummer, the puppy. How can I help you today? Okay. So it takes my question, give me some interesting answer, telling me his name, and also in a way like the pattern what I have assistant doing like a puppy bark. Okay, so that is showing how to call the API of ChatGPT. It's very simple. And what you need to do is you really need to get into the secret key. So for my case, I have here. For my case, you can check with, I can check with the API keys, settings. Here is me. I'm one of the member. And here is the billing. Well, it used to be if I put my credit card, it will, if less than $5, it will deduct some, it will automatically deduct something. But if you really want to try, I think easy way, I just put $10 here. You can put $5, and it's just fun. And you are writing some of the interesting API, very long content and tokens. It actually just costs a few cents. So I think it worth a try for you to do. And then maybe you will find out some interesting thing to call the API of ChatGPT. Okay, so that's the first one. And the second one I want you to try is the Anthropic. Anthropic is another AI model, which is here. This AI model actually the guys from there, that's kind of spin-off from ChatGPT, from OpenAI. A few engineers from OpenAI, they just left and opened their own company. It's kind of competitive company. Anthropic right now can be only accessed in North America. It's very similar. So compared with ChatGPT, the Anthropic has a larger input token space. So you can actually upload a PDF file and it will summarize that for you. And for my own use, I can compare these two. I think ChatGPT in a way of doing coding, help us to do the Python coding, PyTorch coding is better than Anthropic. Anthropic is very good at language processing, write some text. So in this company, they also have the API. They have their own trained model. So they have the API that we can call, doing the same thing. So we can use their trained model to build our SDK or build our own app. So here, doing the same thing, I writing my own secret, getting an account, and then apply for my own secret key. Then what I have here is I need to install Anthropic. So let me restart everything, make sure it's not corrupted by OpenAI. Then here I'm running this line here. So restart the kernel. This one right here. Okay. It's going to do a pip install, upgrade Anthropic. So it gives me the latest version as well. So it's installed here. The latest version is 0.25.7. So actually uninstalling the last version I installed and then reinstall the latest version. Okay. So here is very similar thing, import Anthropic. Define client is anthropic.client. API key, that is my Anthropic secret key. So again, this is you need to apply on their website, on the API, pay a very small fee, and then you can generate a key that is actually runnable. So here I am just using some Python programming, putting a prompt that I'm going to write something, which is me, I'm human. This is versus user, I'm using human. So to write a short poem about excellence of Beta University. There's no assistance. So whatever he wants to use, the Anthropic, they have a chatbot, it's called Cloudy, and they can output. So response is client.completions.create. This is exactly the same as the ChatGPT API. Prompt is the prompt that I defined here. I'm writing the prompt here. Model is Cloudy version 1. Actually, today you have Cloudy version 2, version 3, and a more advanced version that you can use. Maximum tokens to samples is 300. So I define 300. Then I'm going to call this response completion and print out the result. So let me run this one. All right, so it comes out. Here's a short poem about Baylor University. Ode to Baylor green and gold. Along the brazen river stands a school of great renown. Baylor University, a place of excellency profound, with history and a tradition, faith and the learning bound. It's pretty good, actually, pretty good poem. Okay, so here is API use for Anthropic. That's it, folks. That's it. I have shown you a very easy call for both of those API. I will post this online. So I hope you can try just to get an account with ChatGPT and Anthropic using the sample code to see how actually we can call the API to write your own code. Now, again, the beauty about that is that you can do the transfer learning based on their large language model they have already trained, but you can somehow using your own data to train specifically for your own entity. For example, you may like to write a chatbot for Baylor University. I'm just saying, right? And then you have all these real data. When is the class schedule, classrooms of the real data from Baylor University, and using a chatbot style and putting an app, which I think will be very interesting. It's just for a Baylor chat or chat bears, and it will be fun. So that's all I have for this session, and it's less than 30 minutes. I think my network is not so good, so I'm not going to prolong of this. Are there any questions so far?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jonathan. Great. So I will look forward to your program. Write a notebook on this API. Make sure you successfully run it and try some interesting dialogues to see what you get from both of those APIs. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for coming and thank you for your patience. I will see you on Wednesday. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you for the class, Dr. Dunk.
Bye.